So let's find out what exactly is happening right now with price action of Bitcoin, because we know right now the price of Bitcoin is inside this descending channel, because in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever the price of Bitcoin has failed to find support at this parabolic line, after that we have started this lower highs lower lows continuation pattern, and in this lower highs lower lows continuation pattern we have also formed this descending channel, and only after breaking the resistance from the descending channel we have started this new impulsive price movement. And also if you follow this parabolic curve here from 2015 2000 until 2017, you can see this was some very nice impulsive movement, and as soon as the price of Bitcoin broke the support from this parabolic line, after that you can see we started this new downtrend, and this downtrend was also trapped inside this descending channel. Only after breaking the resistance from the descending channel we had this actual movement here to the upper direction, and since then as you can see the price of Bitcoin has witnessed some massive correction. But if you follow this parabolic line again, you can see this line was actually acting as a strong line of support. Each and every retracement we found a very strong support at this line, but now since the price of Bitcoin has broken the support from this rising trend line, and we have also started this downtrend where the price is being trapped inside the descending channel, if the price of Bitcoin is able to break out of this 45,000 range and flip it into support, then this could be an indication that the price of Bitcoin here in the medium short term is ready for this new impulsive movement here to the upper direction. Because as long as we are going to stay inside this or remain inside the descending channel, we could see a movement here in this manner where the price of Bitcoin is going to show this lower highs lower lows continuation pattern and head to the downside, and we are only going to see this actual movement when the price is going to break out of this resistance from this descending channel. Because we know right now the indicator, the bottom indicator, has not flashed a buy signal yet, because we know we have talked about this Bitcoin bottom indicator or buy indicator, because we actually are waiting for this indicator to flash us this bottom scenario. Because in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever this indicator has flashed this bottom or buy indication, right, after that we have seen some really nice impulsive price movement here in Bitcoin. So that's why, for example, if you look at this from 2017, we had this massive movement. After that the price of Bitcoin gained almost like around 2076%. And again here in 2018 when we had this buy signal here, as you can see, right, after that the price of Bitcoin surged almost like around 349%. 2020 buy signal from this indicator. After that the price of Bitcoin surged almost like around 1578%. Again here in 2021, after that the price of Bitcoin surged 135%. So that's why we want this indicator, this bottom indicator or buy indicator, also to confirm if the price of Bitcoin is ready for this new impulsive movement. And beside this example also, guys, if you look at this price action right now, as we are well aware, if you monitor the price structure around this area, we know in a weekly the price of Bitcoin is finding support around this 36,000 range. So let me also show you that. So if you look at this here in a weekly time frame, we have talked about this plenty of time in my videos, because I want to show you in a weekly what must the price of Bitcoin do and should not do. Because we can see very clearly that the price of Bitcoin in the past price action, whenever we have reached the lower line support of this ascending channel, after that you can see the price of Bitcoin has found a strong support, and just like that also the upper line was a strong line of resistance, right, as you can see here very clearly. So now what I'm actually trying to pinpoint here is that if the price of Bitcoin wants to continue this rally or show us any sort of impulsive movement, then we are not allowed to close below this 37,000 area. Because if the price of Bitcoin is going to close below this 37,000 area, then you can see we will be leaving the support from this ascending channel, and this ascending channel support has been there since December 2020, and each and every time the price of Bitcoin has shown this retracement, after that, after finding support at this ascending channel, we have seen some really nice impulsive price movement playing out here in price action. So that is also a reason here in a weekly time frame we want the price of Bitcoin to stay above this 37,000 range at any cost. Because as long as we are going to stay here, right, as I've already said you, we could be seeing some sort of a temporary relief rally type of scenario playing out in price action of Bitcoin. Now let me show you that around this area. in another time frame. So now let's look at this price action of Bitcoin in a daily time frame using this CPR indicator, because according to this CPR indicator, as you can see, the price of Bitcoin has already broken below the support line from these CPR lines, and now since we are below it, what is going to happen? These CPR lines are going to be acting as a resistance. So now this 40,000 to 42,000 is going to be a strong resistance for Bitcoin, because in most of the cases what also happens, price after failing to find support at the CPR line gets gravitated around the CPR area, gets a bigger reversal. And in our case, as you can see, if this is going to see a movement here to the downside, then we know this monthly S1 line for this March month, which is our lower target, is sitting around 36,300, 36,400 price area. If the price of Bitcoin is not going to see this movement here to the downside, then we want the price at any cost to find a proper support above this CPR line. So if we can manage to find a proper support above this CPR line, then me myself, I am going to open a long position here, right? As soon as we find a proper support above this 42,000 range until this monthly R1 line. This is going to be our target area, because if we do manage to come across this monthly CPR line, then that is going to be a very, very bullish scenario for Bitcoin here in a immediate short term. Now, beside this, guys, I also want to show you this one price action. So now let's look at this price action in a very, very simple way, because what I am going to do here, I will be adding this falling trend line, because if you follow this falling trend line, you can see very clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin could be inside this descending broadening wedge, because this lower line here from this descending broadening wedge has acted as a strong line of support, right? And the upper line here has acted as a strong line of resistance. So now, if we want to see any sort of an impulsive movement playing out, then what we want the price of Bitcoin to do, break out of this upper line area and find a proper support above it. Because if we see this scenario unfolding, then we know the price of Bitcoin will be also breaking out of this resistance line between 40,000 to 42,000 range. Because if we do find a proper support above this 42,000, then in that case, you can see the price of Bitcoin will be also breaking out of this upper line area of this descending broadening wedge, which previously has acted as a strong line of resistance. So that is also a reason why we want the price of Bitcoin here in the immediate short term to find a proper support over this 42,000 area. Because if we do manage to see a proper support above this 42,000, then as we can see, we could be seeing a really nice movement towards this monthly R1 line, and that is lying around 47,900 to 48,000 price area. So this is where I will be monitoring as soon as the price of Bitcoin manages to flip this resistance around this 40 to 42,000 into support. And also, guys, if you look at the price structure here in a bit different way, because we know right now, if you simply add this rising trend line support, when the price of Bitcoin failed to find support at this rising trend line, we started breaking it to the downward direction. And right now, we have another rising trend line support. So that's why I'm actually saying you, if the price of Bitcoin is going to see any sort of a retracement and also break below this 37,000, then you can see not just only we are going to break out of this support line from this ascending channel, we are also going to be breaking the support from this rising trend line, which has actually indicated losing the support could trigger another bigger sell-off, and we don't want this to happen at any cost. And beside this, what we can also see unfolding here in a 4-hour time frame, let me show you that. So now, yesterday I showed you with each and every price movement what the price of Bitcoin has done. I mean, whenever we have seen this bump and run reversal top type of formation unfolding, what happened after that? The price of Bitcoin has shown a retracement as soon as we broke out of this rising trend line support, because we know this rising trend line was a strong line of support, and now since we are below it, the price of Bitcoin could be seeing this weakness. But if you look at this in a very simple way, what you can do is simply monitor this price movement here, right, in this manner, because if you look at this price structure, and now if I would add this bump and run reversal top, as you can see, according to this bump and run reversal top, we have two price targets for this movement. First one is this here, and second one is this here. So now, according to this bump and run reversal top, it usually actually forms when the trend is in an uptrend, but in our case, it's in a downtrend. And also in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever this similar movement has unfollowed, I mean, whenever we have failed to find support at this rising trend line, after that, we have seen this retracement. So that is also a reason why I'm actually including this. For now, if you look at this as a bump and run reversal, then you can see clearly, guys, the price of Bitcoin has still some target here to the downside open. And in that case, for the immediate short term, if the price of Bitcoin is going to show another weakness, then these two lines, which is around 37,000, and the second target is lying somewhere around 35 to 36,000 range. So this is also what we have to take into consideration looking at the current Bitcoin price action. So now you got all the images, what could be unfolding right now, and what must the Bitcoin do if we want to see any sort of a impulsive movement playing out here in price action. So guys, these are some of the interesting scenario I thought sharing with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and also for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.